It wasn't the silence of an empty forest or the calm before a storm. It was heavier than that, like the air itself was holding its breath. I had woken in a clearing surrounded by towering crystal-like trees, their branches glowing faintly with a light that had no sun. My head pounded. My memory was fractured. One moment I was on Earth, walking home after a late shift, and the next I was here, and they were watching me. A dozen figures stood in the shadows beyond the crystal trunks. Tall, graceful, their skin shimmering with faint colors that shifted like waves on water. Their eyes glowed softly, reflecting me back at myself. Aliens. Real, living, and staring at me as though I had trespassed on sacred ground. I raised my hand slowly. I don't mean harm. My voice cracked in the heavy silence. I don't even know how I got here. The aliens murmured among themselves in a language I couldn't understand. Their voices were melodic, each word flowing like music. Fear knotted in my stomach. I had no idea what they planned for me, whether I would be welcomed, imprisoned, or worse. And then she stepped forward. She was different from the rest, not taller, not stronger, but there was something in the way she carried herself. Her hair shimmered with silver light, and her eyes were brighter, warmer than the others. She studied me intently, tilting her head as if measuring something beyond my appearance. Then she turned to the others, her lips curving into the faintest of smiles. "That's my husband," she said. The words were clear, not her language, but mine. Perfect English. I blinked. "What?" The others reacted instantly. Some gasped, some frowned, some whispered in disbelief. One of the taller men hissed something sharp at her, but she ignored him. She just kept looking at me, smiling softly as if she had decided something final. My heart hammered in my chest. Husband? I had never seen her in my life. "I think there's been a mistake," I stammered. "I don't even know you." But her smile didn't falter. She walked closer, every step deliberate, until she stood barely a few feet away. Her presence was overwhelming, not threatening, but intense, as though the air bent around her. "You may not know me," she said quietly, her voice carrying both strength and gentleness. "But I know you." Her friends erupted in protest, their language rising in musical but angry tones. She turned on them sharply, her expression commanding. A few lowered their heads immediately. It was clear she held authority here, even if she was young. Then she looked back at me. "In my people's tradition," she explained, "to call someone husband is not to bind them in chains, but to recognize them as chosen, as the one meant to walk beside you." I swallowed hard. "But why me? You don't even know who I am." Her smile widened, almost playful now. "Don't I? You stood unarmed, surrounded, and your first word was that you meant no harm. Not a threat, not a plea, just truth. That is rarer than you think." I didn't know what to say. I was just a tired, ordinary man from Earth. Why would someone like her, someone who looked like she had stepped out of a dream, declare something so final? The others didn't seem pleased. The tall male stepped forward, glaring at me with eyes like burning glass. He spat words I couldn't understand, but the venom in his tone was clear. He pointed at me, then at the ground, as though demanding I be cast out. The woman's gaze hardened. She replied in her own tongue, sharp and unyielding. Whatever she said silenced him, though not happily. He snarled once more, but retreated. Then she turned back to me, and her voice softened again. "You are not safe here alone," she said. "But if you are mine, they cannot touch you." I stared at her, torn between fear and wonder. "And if I refuse?" Her eyes flickered with amusement, though sadness lingered there too. "Then you will still walk safely among us, because I will not let them harm you. But," she paused, her voice lowering, "I do not think you will refuse." There was something in the way she said it, not arrogance, not assumption, just quiet certainty, as though she had seen something in me that even I didn't know existed. That night, they took me back to their village, a place carved from living crystal that glowed from within. Everywhere I walked, eyes followed me, some curious, some hostile. But wherever I went, she walked beside me, and no one dared to challenge her claim. Her name was Elira. She taught me words of her language, guided me through their customs, and answered my endless questions. Why did you really call me your husband? I asked one evening as we sat near a pool of luminous water. Her smile returned, soft and mysterious. Because the moment I saw you, I knew. Our people believe that bonds are not made. They are recognized. I looked into your eyes, and the bond was there, waiting. I shook my head. But I'm just me, an ordinary man. Her gaze was steady. To me, you are not ordinary. To me, you are the one who stood unafraid, the one who spoke with honesty when surrounded by fear. That is enough. As the days turned to weeks, I began to see what she meant. The others slowly stopped whispering. Some even began to accept me, though grudgingly. And Elira never faltered. She stayed at my side, smiling that same soft smile whenever doubt clouded my mind. And though I had never imagined such a fate, far from Earth, far from everything I had ever known, I realized something undeniable. I had come here a stranger. But when she turned to her friends and called me her husband, she gave me more than protection. She gave me a place, a purpose, and perhaps, just perhaps, she gave me the truth she had known all along, that I was hers, and she was mine,